Good morning, barely. It's Friday, July 24th. It's 11:53 a.m., almost noon. I've been working all morning, been double booked all morning. It's been one of those days. Trying to work a vendor support case at the same time as multiple meetings were scheduled internally. But that is the nature of my job some days. I just got a phone with vendor support. I'm getting some windows open in here because it's starting to warm up. It's 78 degrees inside the camper now. According to the weather, it's 72 outside, so pretty nice out. It's gonna be a nice day. I am done with work now for a while. I've got a maintenance window for a client that starts at 11:30 p.m. tonight, so I am done. Sorry, I am done with work for right now. But it's gorgeous out today. It's a little bit hazy. Kind of like yesterday. Not terrible, but it's just not as crystal clear blue as it was a couple days ago. So I need to leave here in about an hour. Today I am doing the oh good, the office is open. I'm sure she's gonna wonder what I'm talking about. Yep, here she comes. Hello. Yeah, I'll pick you up later. I have no idea what I was saying when I left off. Just got into a 20-minute conversation with the campground lady. She wants me to sign up for their annual thing. But plans for the afternoon. So this afternoon is the kayaking trip out to Picture Rocks. The way that works is they actually put you on a boat and take you out there, and then they launch kayaks from the boat, and they're actual seafaring kayaks, unlike my little one back here. I'm looking forward to that. I have to check in at 2 for, I think, or 2:20. I think I check in at 2:20 for a 3 o'clock tour. I gotta look it up. And it's about an hour's drive up there. So I've got roughly an hour here to kill. Maybe do something with my hair. And then I need to figure out what I need to take with me. So probably change of clothes, towel, water bottle, that kind of stuff. So yeah, be exciting. Probably won't be able to film a whole lot of that. I mean, I'll film as much as I can, but like, it is very difficult to film anything in a kayak with a handheld camera. And I do not have a GoPro or any type of body mount. So on my way to Munising. And that is where we're going. Looks like all the kayaks are tandems, and they are busy. This group, I think, is going out before us. Okay, so at this point we're out on the water. I did not take a camera with me, so that is me and my kayak partner. He was there with his wife and one daughter, so they were the only other odd number group, so I got paired with him. These photos are all courtesy of his wife. This here is the boat that took us out to the water, and we launched kayaks from there. The way they do this is there's 48 people on the boat, put in tandem kayaks. So 24 kayaks launch. Then from there we get divided into groups of 6. Each of us has our own private guide. This is our guide named Josh. Another picture of Josh alongside some of the pictured rocks we saw while we were out there. And this is one of the arches. The water here was crystal clear. It's probably an average of 8 to 15 feet deep everywhere we were. It's almost surprisingly deceptive. It looks like you're only in 2 to 3 foot of water, and it's actually 15, 20 foot down. But these sites were absolutely gorgeous as we're out there kayaking along. It was a great day for it. There was just a very light breeze, beautiful temperatures, and these formations, like you just can't get sites like this anywhere from land. They really were gorgeous out there on the water. This year's first year, they don't really allow people to paddle in underneath the coves, as you can see in this picture right here. But all that said, this was still a beautiful trip out there. Highly recommend it. Got to see some awesome scenery. It's about a 4 or 5 hour trip total. I think we were out on the water for 2.5 to 3 hours, with half an hour out to our drop off point and then about a 45-minute boat ride back. And the reason you're hearing me do this on voiceover is I obviously didn't take my camera out on the boat with me, but then even on the boat ride back, I may or may not have inadvertently left my microphones on, so they were dead and didn't realize it, and didn't have any audio capture. But these were some just amazing sights. Had an absolutely fantastic time. Highly recommend doing this. It was just absolutely great. But all that said, this was still a beautiful trip out there. Highly recommend it. Got to see some awesome scenery. It's about a 4 or 5 hour trip total. I think we were out on the water for 2.5 to 3 hours, with half an hour out to our drop off point and then about a 45-minute boat ride back. And the reason you're hearing me do this on voiceover is obviously didn't take my camera out on the boat with me, but then even on the boat ride back, I may or may not have inadvertently left my microphones on, so they were dead and didn't realize it, and didn't have any audio capture. But these were some just amazing sights. Had an absolutely fantastic time. Highly recommend doing this. It was just absolutely great. The water was very nice, very calm. Just a little bit of wake from some passing boats. Nothing that really splashed us too bad. I did dip my hands down in the water a couple times. Here I am not paying attention to the photo being taken. Our guide thought the water temperature was probably high 50s, lower 60s. This one here is a fairly famous archway out there that had partial collapse many, many years ago. So it's not quite as brilliant as supposedly it once was, but still a pretty amazing sight out there. These next few are all just more scenes and caves of the pictured rocks. Us kayaking in front of one of them kind of gives you a clue to their size. There's a post picture. I'm actually paying attention with our boat in the background. So this one, when you're out in front of it, you can tell a little bit more, but this one's called the Battleship Rocks. It looks like a battleship. And then this next photo, they call this one Battleship Row. This here is Chapel Rock. It's called that because the people who found it originally thought it looked kind of like a chapel. And yes, there's a tree going out of the top of it. And from this angle here, you can see that the rocks used to be originally connected together, and so the root system was formed on the dirt layer over that rock. And then before the rock collapsed and left the roots there, so that tree's root system actually is in the bank on the other side. It's a heavily protected landmark now. It's very illegal. Josh is telling us to go on top of those roots or over to Chapel Rock. So this was the boat right before. So Chapel Rock was our last stop, and then we paddled back on and got boarded back on top of the boat. And this here is kind of the map of all the different places we went. And this is just one last photo of us out on the water. So this is back on the boat afterwards. I'd reclaimed my phone and thought I was recording with audio. I had my microphone still on, not realizing that they were dead. But yeah, the sun was starting to go down. We were out there for several hours. It was a gorgeous boat ride back. The captain was pretty funny the whole time. When she was giving her Coast Guard safety spiel at the beginning, she made sure to remind us that in the unlikely event that we hit an iceberg, that we needed to follow the crew off the boat because and not follow her because, as the captain, she was required to go down with the ship. So that was just one of her many one-liner jokes that were pretty funny. But it was a gorgeous day out there. Had a great time and don't really know what I'm looking at with the camera here. So here I believe we're almost back to the dock. Captain's given us disembarking instructions and also given her spiel about make sure we tip the crew. I made sure that Josh got tipped pretty well as he was a very awesome tour guide. At the end of it, before we reboard the boat, he even did a barrel roll in his kayak out there. So the water was kind of cold, but he was super excited because that was the first time he had successfully done one of those out on the water in front of paying customers. So it was pretty cool. The captain did, as we're coming back, she was telling one of the air customers about the lighthouse, and I asked her about it because I was a little bit confused because the captain of the shipwreck tour the day before had said that was a laser lighthouse, and when I Googled it, it said there was actually two lighthouses in line with the LED on them that were used as range. And she confirmed that that's how it used to be, yes. But a few years ago, the Coast Guard retired the second lighthouse. It's still there, kind of buried in the trees, but had put the laser just in the front lighthouse, and that laser was actually on the path for the channel. Depending on if you were on the line, you saw white light. If you were off to either side, the laser was red or green, respectively, for the side of the channel that you were when you were exiting the channel. So that was very informative and educational, and answered a lot of questions I had based on my Google searches the day before. So this is just the last view of the dock as we come in for the end of the tour. Here we have Josh actually laying up on the bow of the boat as the captain's bringing into the dock so he can hand off the lines to the deckhands who help tie us off. He was a pretty funny guy. And here's just the chaos of 48 people. The cruise was entirely full getting off the boat. That guy behind me was the one photobombing my selfie earlier. Him and his wife were from Omaha. I talked to them for a little while on the way back. They were super cool people to talk to. So here we are, we're already docked and just leaving the boat. These are a couple of the, that's Josh on the right, uh, walking back back on the dock, heading up there to return the life vest and flood skirt or whatever they call that thing. And here in a second, I'm going to turn around. Yep, there we go. There's a look at the dock and the boats. And now we're heading back up to land, and that's officially the end of this tour. Now I'm stopping at something called Pat's Foods, pick up a few groceries and salads for dinner. Still have no idea that my microphones aren't working. Here's an update spiel of what I'm going to be doing the rest of the night. No idea that I can't that what I'm saying is not being recorded. So I'm not a lip reader. So maybe if somebody is, you can send me the transcript of what I was talking about. Yeah, but I basically pick up a few groceries, some salads, go back to camp, make dinner. I'm sure that's what I'm talking about. I think I gave a little bit of a recap of some of the cool highlights from the kayak tour, which I just now did in this voiceover. In the future, I'm going to make sure I check my microphones a little bit closer because honestly, I don't really like doing voiceovers. In fact, I'm just going to cut this one off and crop myself out right now, and let's move on to a point where I'm doing something with actual audio. Okay, so my microphone died while I was out on the water because I had it plugged into my phone, left the microphone on the whole time, even though I didn't take my phone out with me on the kayak. So, so I will probably attempt to overdub this, but yeah, so I stopped at a little grocery store to pick up a few items. The kayaking trip was awesome. My only complaint was, and they do it for logistical reasons, is tandem kayaks. I got paired with a family of 3, but at least he'd been kayaking before. And it was overall pretty good. Tour guide was awesome. It was about 5 miles out there. And it was kind of a leisurely paddle, so, the lake goes, the currents are moving out. So they take you in that direction, they boat you out, drop you in, you paddle 5 miles, and they pick you up. So that's pretty cool. Stopped at the grocery store, picked up a few items. So I'm on my way back to the campsite at Gwyn, about an hour drive here. It's already 8:15. It'll be about 9 o'clock when I get back there. Make some supper. I've got a maintenance window starting tonight at 11:30 for a client doing a remote upgrade. It should run me a couple of hours. So depending on how long that runs will determine how late I sleep in tomorrow, which will determine what I do tomorrow. There is another kayak tour. It's the same company, but they do a slightly different tour that it kind of overlaps by about half, but like half of it is a different destination. So I might do that. It's kind of expensive. It's like $200, which is, I mean, it's what it is. I could also do the ferry over to Grand Island, and I could take my bike over there and do some bicycling around Grand Island. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do. It'll, like I said, largely depend on what time I'm able to get done tonight when I'm ready to go out and about tomorrow. And then Sunday is moving day. I'm heading to the southern part of the Upper Peninsula to my next campground. So yeah, I think that was everything in there that I don't know if I'm just going to include this clip or just do a voiceover. I might try the voiceover. If that doesn't work, I'll put this clip at the end. So, anywho, pick you back up at camp and we'll make dinner. And by we, I mean me. Alright, dinner tonight is going to be Maid-Rites, which for people not from the Midwest, you often call Sloppy Joes. Not to be confused with the Maid-Rite Diner recipe. That is more of a loose meat sandwich that is like a Maid-Rite but without the sauce. So these are a couple of hamburger patties that I had in the bottom of my electric cooler that pretty much got smashed all to hell. And instead of reforming them into burgers, because I really don't feel like burgers tonight, I feel like Maid-Rites. We're just going to mix these up a little bit. Kind of break this up. As it cooks, I'll break it up even more. And we'll make Maid-Rites. I have no idea how much propane's left in that canister, but we're going to find out. Alright, so we'll let that start browning. In the meantime, let me grab a utensil. I feel pretty good after that kayak trip. My lower back's aching a little bit because the seats in my kayak is terrible. The seat in the rental is just bad. My shoulders have been out for weeks. That chiropractor I went to the other day, she got my neck good, she got my middle back good, but she did not get my shoulder the way I needed it. So that's been aching this whole time. And then in the truck ride on the way back to camp from Munising, I sneezed really hard and actually popped my middle back, so that feels pretty good right now. Yeah. All right, so we'll let that ground beef brown, and then we're gonna grab some sauces, and some spices. All right, so let's see. We definitely want some. Whoops, I'm not even pointing the camera at the right direction. We'll do some minced onion in there, a little bit of garlic, and I think just some salt and pepper. So we'll do these. Whoops, there goes the onion. So we'll do these for our spices. That's all right. So we're just gonna do just a touch of garlic. Whoa! Oh, the wind's blowing, so I blew most of it out. All right, lots of onion. And just a pinch of salt and a sprinkling of pepper. And we'll give that a stir. go and get the sauce. All right, so we got a little bit of mustard and take it all, a little bit of barbecue and a little bit of ketchup. And then while I was at that grocery store, I picked up just some deli salad. So I got some potato salad and some coleslaw. I really need to clean out this basket. All that salt and pepper I've dumped in there and made a mess. Need a better spice rack. I take it this camper is off level here again. It was level when I parked, but these doors are not right. It's alright, I'm leaving day after tomorrow. Alright, so once that meat is fully cooked with all the seasoning, then I'll add my sauces and let it simmer for a little bit. So yeah, I'm not even going to bother lighting the thermostat. Pretty good breeze. I don't see any mosquitoes out here. And I'm just going to cook dinner and eat inside. Work on some editing. My neighbor's back there having a fire again. They have one almost every night. I wonder if they cheat and bring their own wood or if they pay $2 a stick. I don't think it's that bad. It's $6 or $7 a bundle. I don't look, see how big the bundles are. They're up for sale by the office. Yeah, it's starting to cook up pretty good. See, as much as I complain about this place, it is super quiet. Like, my next door neighbor, I have not seen or heard this guy since I got here. So it looks like he's reserved for the entire summer. May 8th through September 30th. So maybe he's just not even here. I don't know. Or maybe they only come on the weekends. I don't know. Yeah, been really quiet. No screaming kids, no barking dogs, no rowdy parties. It is quiet. Oops. Right. This is almost done here. I'm going to drain the grease and then we'll add the sauce. All right, sauce is added. And we'll turn this heat down to simmer and just stir it all up. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision because it smells delicious. All right, we'll do a little taste test here. We'll let it catch up. And barbecue. I didn't bring a tripod out here. All right, taste test number 2. That's just about perfect. All right, let that simmer. There, I got my buns ready. You know, it's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and have myself a Mountain Dew because I haven't gotten that many today because I was out on the water all day. And I'm gonna be up most of the night anyway. And I'm already starting to get a little bit tired. And when you have to work till 2 a.m. and you're tired at 9 o'clock, that's not a good sign. So I'll go ahead and get myself a little caffeine fix. All right, you've seen enough of me cooking now, so I'm going to put this camera down. I'll pick it up when it's done. I'm ready to eat. And there we have it. the Midwest Made Right. Now, a Made Right diner sandwich doesn't have the sauce. It's but it does tend to be a lot greasier, so the bread tends to just fall apart and you eat it with a fork anyway. A mom's recipe Made Right uses sauce to hold the meat together, so you can eat it on the bun. And since I'm by myself and nobody else is going to be doing this, I'm just going to eat this right out of the container. So we'll see if this is any good or not. Coleslaw is 50-50. It is either good or it is terrible. There's no in between. It was pretty good. So I'm going to watch some YouTubes on the TV here and edit I'm still working on the whatever the name of this fort was from Monday. Editing that and set and kill time until it's 9:30. Sit and kill the next 2 hours until time to start work. I'm not going to edit while I eat because that's just, I'm not good. I can't multitask. So we're going to see what we can find on the old YouTubes to watch tonight. And watch something while I finish eating, and then we'll edit, and then we'll go to work. Catch you later.